have a special author. It says, oh yeah, sorry. Hi everyone, I'm Amy, Bookkeeping Amy, and today I have a special author. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Kate Baxter, author of The Last True Vampire.
Yes, and in case you can see me, the pictures are sometimes confusing. This is the book she wrote. I think the last video was, my last video was a review over this book. If it's not the last video, then I'll definitely put, either way, I'll put the links in the description. You should go watch the video, and you should definitely read the book, obviously. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your series?
So book one, The Last True Vampire, starts with Mikhail Aristov, who is the last true vampire in existence. And the book centers around him finding his mate and his seat of power that will allow him to resurrect the vampire race by turning Dompiers into vampires.
Okay, Dompiers. I was wondering how that was said. I read it, the word Dompiers many times. I was like, I have no idea how it's said. Well, now you have another book coming out. Now, can you tell us a little bit about that one?
The second book in the series is The Warrior Vampire, and it follows the story arc from book one, but follows a new vampire, Ronan, who is turned in book one in his quest to find not only his sister who is missing, but he finds his mate in the process.
Yeah. I know when I read the ending of this book, I was like, you're going to leave the ending like this? No!
I felt like it wasn't quite a cliffhanger, but, you know.
He's going off somewhere without me. I have to wait.
He's going on an adventure. Crescent City, California.
Mm-hmm. So what exciting things can we expect in the next book?
Oh, witches, demons, of course, sexy vampires.
Of course.
There'll be more of Mikhail, more of Siobhan. You'll get to see Jenner more, who's briefly introduced in book one and is turned in Ronan's book. So there's lots of different plot threads going on while Ronan is in Crescent City. He's searching for his sister who is missing. She's kind of like this Tomb Raider type character who searches for vampire relics, and she's found the mother lode of vampire relics. And Ronan goes off to find her, and in the process finds his mate. I don't know how much I should give away.
You can give as much away as you want. I'm still going to read it. I cannot wait to read it, let me tell you. Okay, so in The Last True Vampire, you had an interesting, The Last True Vampire, I said that right. In The Last True Vampire, you had a very interesting kind of world. Can you kind of describe the world to the people who have not read it and should read it, just adding that part?
So we start off with the vampires, and this is a pretty vast supernatural world. So we have vampires, werewolves, shifters, mages, witches, pretty much anything you can think of. But basically in the true vampire world, there's this secret society called the Sordiari, and they have kind of proclaimed themselves the guardians of fate. So they think it's their job to keep fate on the right track. And hundreds of years ago, they came to the decision that the way to preserve the future was to eradicate the vampire race. So they've gone on this quest to wipe out all of the vampires, and they think that they have, but Mikhail survived. And so in this world, you have these slayers and that work for the Sordiari, and their job is to hunt the vampires and wipe them out. So even though Mikhail has survived, it kind of resurrects this ancient war between the vampires and the slayers, where their objective is to wipe out this last vampire while he's trying to survive and resurrect the race.
It's a big world.
It is. It's the biggest world I've ever written, and I could write in it forever because new characters just keep rolling in, and starting from scratch that way with one vampire, it kind of spirals outward, and so there's room for new characters with every book, which has been really great.
Yeah. So how did you come up with the world? Is this just like something you've been thinking over? Or, I mean, how did you just wake up in the morning and say, this is the world?
I do pride myself on world building. It's one of my favorite things to do in the writing process. So I had this concept for the Sordiari years ago, like 4 years ago. I started a project where there was a secret society and they were the guardians of fate. And when I started writing The Last True Vampire, I incorporated them into the world. And I knew only one thing going in, that there was one vampire. So it kind of posed a lot of problems for me world building wise, because I had to figure out how to make more vampires, why I had to give Mikhail limitations, because there had to be a reason why he couldn't create new vampires. Mm-hmm. And then by introducing his mate, which is the seat of his power, it kind of builds rules as you go. So I kind of world build as I write. So I'm kind of making up the rules as I go, and then I kind of have to write everything down and keep track of everything so I don't violate the rules, which I did in later books that I actually had to go back and fix, because I was like, no, wait, I can't do that. So, yeah, exactly.
So let's see. Now the next question is a question I ask all my authors. So you can always see authors kind of bleed in personality-wise into the books. Is there any way is there any events or characters or something like that in your books that we can see that's your personality? Are you a thief? Are you a thief?
I'm a secret hustler.
There you go. That's really cool.
I do kind of share Claire's snarky personality. Like, I'm kind of sarcastic sometimes, so I guess that I would share that with her. Other than that, I don't really share any characteristic traits with any of the other characters. Later on in other books, Jenner, in the third vampire book, Jenner's mate shares, I think, more personality traits with me. She's a little, she's kind of a combination of outgoing and kind of bossy, I guess. I guess that's a good way to put it. She's kind of innocent, but at the same time, she knows what she wants, and she's not afraid to speak her mind. So I really like Bria's character. And then in Ronan's book, the second book, I kind of modeled the heroine after my daughter, who's kind of tough and spunky. And so, I mean, it's not always mean. It's not always my personality that comes through, but the personalities of people that I know or that I live with and people in my life. So, yeah.
Cool. So we can't expect a third book.
There is definitely a third book. It's written. It's done. Edits are done. It's in my editor's hands. So.
Well, tell her to edit faster.
Yeah, there's definitely a third book. I don't have any news on if there'll be a fourth, fifth, or sixth book. I think that depends on the readers, and if they find the series and like it, then hopefully, there'll be more books down the line. But so far we have Mikhail's book, Ronan's book, and Jenner's book. Jenner's book will be titled The Dark Vampire, and I think it's coming out May 2016, May or June, somewhere around there.
Awesome. Well, publishers are watching this. I'm looking at the camera. Publishers are watching this. There better be more books. This is the book-tubing Amy talking. Sign off.
Exactly. Send them a personal note, please.
And I know a ton of your fans on Goodreads are like, yes, I can't believe this is a new book. I haven't ever heard of this author before. And I'm like, new author. Yes, power. Just keep writing.
I love new authors. Yeah, by the end of Jenner's book, we have a handful of vampires that I can write about. So I've definitely laid the groundwork for more books.
Good, good. So you said, let's see. I already asked that question. Okay, so final question. If you could sit down and have coffee with one of your characters or pair, who would it be and why?
Oh my gosh. Definitely Claire, because she's so scrappy, and I think it would be totally fascinating to pick the brain of a hustler and a con artist. And let's see. I don't know. I'd probably sit down with all of them. I love Ronan. I would love to sit and have long conversations with Ronan while he was shirtless, and I don't know, maybe massaging my feet or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I might as well put him to work while we're having a conversation, right?
There you go. We all sit around having pedicures and manicures and just be like, how's your day going?
Talk to me, tall, dark, and vampalicious.
Please do. And I love your cover models. Where do you get the cover models?
Aren't they great? St. Martin's Press has the best cover designers. and they just found the perfect cover models. They haven't released the cover for the Dark Vampire yet, but it's just as good as both the Last True Vampire and the Warrior Vampire. They just do such a great job. They capture the tone of the books really well, and the models are gorgeous. I'm so happy with the cover art.
Yeah.
Super eye-catching.
Definitely. That's
I bow down to St. Martin's Press.
Yes. If I would love to meet one of them, if you can get a little word up there, I'd be like, hi, how's it going?
Wouldn't that be awesome? Yeah, I'd be all on board for that. Let's go on tour.
See, they should let you at least meet them and say, like, Sophie, I meet my character.
Exactly.
I think that's a requirement.
I wouldn't say no. I would not say no to that at all.
I would totally make that a requirement. Like, yes, you have to let me meet this person because I want to make sure it's the right fit.
Let me sit in on the photo shoot, please.
This is so much fun. I mean, can you imagine? It's like, oh yes, this is
I'll bring it down.
Yeah. But I mean, I was walking through Barnes and Nobles, as I shouldn't do because that means I usually buy a book. And I was walking by and I saw this cover, like, and I'd never seen this cover before. And I just picked them up and was like, ooh, I love the cover. And I started reading and I was like, yes, this is great. This is a new type of vampire.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
The cover's super eye-catching, and I do think that when the first thing that a reader connects with is the cover, so I think it's really important to make sure that it stands out and catches the reader's attention. So I lucked out. The cover gods were smiling down on me for sure.
The cover gods. I've never heard of the publicists being called the cover gods, but I'm going to start calling them that. So that's all my questions. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Go out and buy The Last True Vampire, and I will tackle hug you for life. And go find your inner reader.
Yay! Yay. So one of the things, she said, I love it when authors say that. So nice. So one of the things that we are doing on my channel is, if you're watching right now, #1 viewer, I can see you. It tells you how many viewers we have. Is we're doing a giveaway for the first book, and do we want to do a random or the first person to comment?
However you want to do it is fine with me.
Let's see. Ooh, okay. You have to put what character either you're most excited to read about or what character you have read that you really want to sit down and have coffee with. That's how I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to randomly draw it.
Sounds good to me.
Make it difficult. Make them There we go. But yeah, you should, and I'll do that, and I'll put it up on Twitter, social media, everything. And make sure to do it by now I can't say the date. By next week this time, I will put the date in the description. I don't have my calendar, and it's next month very soon. So make sure to do that, and I will draw it, and we will do something fun, and I will ship it to you, or she will ship it to you.
I'll ship it.
Yeah, and make sure you're over 18 because that's the rules on YouTube. That's kind of the rules, and I don't want to get, banned from YouTube. So you have to be 18. And make sure you read the book because it's really awesome, you guys. I need like the booktubing Amy seal of approval because I don't want to put on the back because that way I can still see the cover. That's
just a big stamp right on there.
Yeah. Well, maybe the spine. I don't know because the back's pretty interesting. So I'll find somewhere to put. I'll find a sticker and be like, just there we go. Seal of approval. Yeah, make sure to check back in next week. I won't do a live hangout, but I will do a random or a real video where I'll have prettier background. This was just the room that has Wi-Fi, and I'll tell you who won, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, everybody make sure to check in next. It's Tuesday. Everybody check in next Wednesday. I'll film next Tuesday. And make sure to go find your inner reader and pick up this book. I'm not kidding. And watch the video where I did a review of this. It's an amazing book, and I cannot wait. Oh, if you saw the last video, you saw me fangirl for the next coming book, and it's really interesting. If you want to get a good chuckle, go watch the video. You'll see what I mean. All right, everybody, you have a good day, and as always, go find your inner reader. See ya.
Yeah.